Hello and welcome to another episode of Balls and Brew, the flagship sports podcast of the Morgan You Know Podcast Network. I am your host, Rod Morgan. This podcast is produced by James Jamriska, and as a holiday treat, Jimmy is with us. Jimmy, hello.
Hey, Rod. Nice to be here.
Yeah, well, this is going to be dropping for the folks on either the 23rd of December or maybe even Christmas Eve. So I thought, why not get the whole gang together? So the gang being, of course, joining us from North Carolina, where he has actually been party to a few late night trips down chimneys. He wasn't necessarily delivering Christmas presents. I'll let him tell you why he was going down chimneys late at night. It is Chris King. Chris, hello.
Hello, Internet. Hey, Rod. How you doing? And you're not supposed to mention that type of story.
I know, you're right. I just thought I could at least, this chimney thing, it was just sitting there for me. That's all we'll tell you. And joining us from South Bend, our football handicapper, Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, Rod? And we are finally done with the Bears on primetime. Good riddance. That was pitiful.
Yeah, that was a game that I was kind of like, man, I really could have used the Manning cast for this game. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's your words can't explain it anymore. It's just beyond. I don't even know what to say. Jimmy, what do you got? You got anything on the Bears?
I was gonna say, Jimmy, that's your team. I was about to throw it to you.
A coach can't even get kicked out right. You know, he was talking about the refs' mothers. He was yelling and screaming profanities. He was throwing things very hard on the ground. And he can't even get thrown out right. They did score with no time left on the clock. That shows something, right? Right.
Yeah, what was that about? I couldn't figure out what was going on there.
Listen, when you don't know what you're doing, you just do stuff, you throw it against the wall. Why? You know you're not going to come back. Why don't just go for it on every play? Oh, we're going to run the ball 3 times in a row and then throw it. What are you doing? Just do anything. Throw it deep. Who cares?
It really made no sense to me. The Bears have made no sense for an awful lot of time. COVID is making no sense of any gambling lines out there right now. I mean, we had 2 games that finished up the week on Tuesday, for goodness gracious sake, the night before we recorded this. We got no idea what could be happening this weekend. So with that in mind, we are not going to get 3 picks from Mr. Williams here. I don't think it's fair to him. We got too many things up in the air. We don't even know if these games will get played. So what we are going to do is we'll get some picks from Mr. Williams a little later in the week when we've got a couple of games that he knows are going to be played, when they're going to be played, and who's in it. We'll get those out to you on social media. What we're going to do here is we're going to wrap up our big explosion of a mega podcast discussion that we had last week about the Colts and the Patriots. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here. We're going to chop up a couple of playoff scenarios, what teams need to do to possibly make the wild card, win their division, all of that stuff, because we know what has to happen. We don't know when those games might be played, what day they might be played on, or who might be playing in them, but we know the teams that are supposed to play and how that will affect their playoff chances. So we'll talk about that. And as I mentioned, this is a Christmas episode. Nominally, it's going to come out right near Christmas Eve, maybe the day before. So we're going to spread a little bit of Christmas cheer. I got a couple of random things associated with Christmas that the boys do not know I have come up with, and I'm going to throw them at them, and we're going to see what comes out. Save that fun for the end. But let's start with Chris, the other Colts fan on this podcast. Chris, I guess you get to yell at me here because the Colts did win, what you guys told me they would do. But I'm going to preface right now by saying Carson Wentz looked just about as bad as I thought he might.
Luckily for us, he didn't need to do much of anything. I mean, it was definitely our run game that secured and our offensive line that really won the game for us. What we have, 226 total rushing yards. I mean, I think maybe only, 65 passing yards or something.
Let me pause you right there real quick, because this is something I actually wanted to get into. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to watch that football game because I have DirecTV Stream, and their carriage rights, no NFL Network, could not watch the game. So sure, I mean, I saw the stats and all the different things, but I could not watch the game on Sunday. I was extremely disappointed because DirecTV Stream spends a lot of money to advertise during football games these days, and you can't even watch the NFL Network on their product.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. That sucks. I didn't get to watch the game either, but I watched enough highlights. Jonathan Taylor, 29 carries, 170 yards. What more do you need to know? Like a 6 yard per carry average. He was just a man among boys out there. And we talked about that last week, how they needed to hand the ball off to him 30 times and only let Wentz throw it, 10 to 15 times. That's all we needed. I didn't think that's what was going to happen. I'm just glad it did. And it showed. We won that game pretty easily.
Yeah, Mr. Williams, you thought we were going to see kind of Carson airing it out. So, I mean, were you surprised to see how the Colts came out and were still – I mean, that place was fired up, and that block punt had an awful lot to do with it early on in the game. But were you surprised to see the Colts were able to just stick it to the Patriots the way they had, I guess, almost every other team in the last 5-6 weeks?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good game plan from Wyke. The first 3 plays were all passes, and Wentz barely missed Pittman on a long touchdown pass, and Pittman was like 3 yards past the corner. It would have been like about a 70-yard touchdown. Missed that just barely, and I think that was in the game plan of we're going to go deep early, we're going to set them up, and then after that it was just like let's see what JT can do. And man, that dude it doesn't matter how many he's in the box, that dude's always going to get like 4 or 5 yards, and he's just so good at maneuvering, jump cutting, and just setting up everything. I thought the whole game plan from the Colts, offensively, defensively, and special teams was fantastic, man. They saw something in the special teams film room with that punter. The punter takes the ball, spins it, takes 2 long steps, and then punts it. And they showed a stat on that telecast where the Pats had only had 3 block punts in the last decade, 10 years. They've had 3 block punts this season. That's something that you don't normally see with the Bill Belichick team. And I'm sure they'll have that, figured out going forward. But that was awesome prep work from the Colts special teams unit. And the defense, Eberflus had an awesome game plan, had some delayed blitzes for Mac Jones. He made him look like a rookie on the road in prime time. Fantastic all the way through for the Colts.
Jimmy, let's bring you in here. You have to edit these very podcasts, even the ones that you don't appear on. And so you've heard me rant and rave about Carson Wentz, right? Am I ranting and raving like a crazy person, as Chris sort of accuses me of, or am I a little closer to the truth on Carson Wentz? But the boys are also right, because the Colts are so good that it doesn't really matter.
The answer to your question is yes, all of them. You are a little crazy. The Colts are great. Rod, they have 7 Pro Bowlers. They lead the league with Pro Bowlers. Jonathan Taylor, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson on the offense. We got DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, and Kenny Moore on the defense. And, of course, your special teams long snapper, Luke Rhodes, is your 7th. So
Listen, I've been singing Luke Rhodes' praises all year. You can't accuse me of that, Jim.
Every episode you do mention his name, and I appreciate that. But no, they've got that says it all right there. They have the team around Wentz. Wentz is going to give you 1 or 2 plays a game where he tries to give the game away. We just hope that the other team drops those interceptions. That's all you have to ask for.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see that New England didn't have a better way to attack that Colts defense. But again, I guess it just speaks to how good that Colts defense is, which Mr. King and I were texting during that game, and it just feels so odd as a Colts fan of a number of years to be like, let's win in spite of our quarterback with our incredible defense. It just feels weird, doesn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. We've been used to phenomenal quarterback play for most of this millennia, and now we're winning games like we're an AFC or NFC North team. Strong defense, smash mouth offense.
Yeah, hey, we'll take it. Jonathan Taylor. So, Mr. Williams, what are the numbers looking like? I'm throwing this one at you unfairly, but I bet you can do this one quickly. What are the numbers looking like on MVP? Is he still moving up the charts, or has he still got 4 or 5 guys ahead of him according to Vegas?
Yeah, I think last time I checked, he was 3rd in the MVP voting. Rodgers plus 125. He took the lead over Brady because the Bucks got shut out on primetime against the Saints this last week.
That game was nasty.
The game was crazy. Brady's plus 200, but then JT plus 750. Unbelievable. Yeah, he's been a beast this year.
Do you think if the Colts win these last 3 games and it's because of him, do you think he's got a chance at pulling that MVP home, or do you think there's no way it's not going to be Rodgers or Brady?
No, I think he does have a chance this year because the whole vaccination narrative with Rodgers. I really do think that there's going to be some people that don't vote for him because of that. And then Brady, boy, the Bucks really took it on the chin, not just in that game with the score, but with the injuries. So now Godwin's out for the year. Looks like Fournette's out for a couple games. We don't know when Evans is going to come back. And so I don't know, man. I don't know if Brady's going to look that good in the last 3 weeks. And then if JT keeps on tearing it up, and the Colts, get the playoff spot or maybe even possibly sneak in and get a division win, man, I don't think anybody would have thought that a running back would be in the running for MVP, but here we are. He's that good.
Yeah, he's got 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. He's very good. Jim, will the NFL voters in the year of our Lord 2021 give it to anybody other than a quarterback? I mean, we haven't seen it for so many years. Do you really think this could be the year that the streak is broken?
I do, because the Aaron Rodgers narrative is there. I don't think some people will just not vote for him, period. And then Tom Brady, he's going to have a couple of big games coming up. But again, look at Patrick Mahomes. Right now he's plus 1,100 to win it. The Chiefs can go on another run. And
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you.
That's the thing that worries me. Mahomes worries me more than the other two, honestly.
They really are already on a run. I mean, they've been playing lights out lately.
True.
See, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Williams. I like that dark horse, right? I love me some Jonathan. I love him. Love the guy, man. He's what keeping the Colts, chugging along and making me look like a fool every week on this podcast saying that they're a terrible football team. But I just don't believe he's going to win the MVP. I think we're going to see Patrick Mahomes sneaking up the backside and winning this thing again, perhaps, because the Chiefs are just they're going to put together 8-9 wins at the end of the year to all of a sudden become the 1 seed after some people were talking about, is the dynasty over? I mean, the MVP in all of these leagues is just so much narrative based these days. Like all those stats you gave us, Mr. Williams, were great, but it's narratives. Well, go ahead, Chris.
Right now, they are the 1 seed in the AFC.
That's what I mean, yeah. And then, but I didn't mean that like they have to win the games to get it, but just they'll continue to be that, and it's just part of the narrative. And that's just what I mean. It's just you have to have the story these days to win the MVP. It's unfortunate, frankly, that there's not a better concrete criteria to decide a thing that's that important in the annals of history, because these guys are going to be looked back on, people who didn't have the privilege of being around to watch these games in person, and they're going to, hey, this guy really was good that year. And it's like, was he the best guy? I don't know. Maybe I think about this too much.
Do you think they'll do something where they give the MVP to a quarterback and then give Taylor like best offensive player?
I think that's why that the award exists, personally. So yeah, I could see that.
What about giving the MVP to Jonathan Taylor and giving the offensive player of the year to Cooper Kupp? I think that's possible too.
Wow, shutting out all the quarterbacks. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, he's had a hell of a year too.
Mahomes has had too many picks this year to win it, and this 7-game win streak has been basically on their defense. So
that's true.
I don't think Mahomes is even. I know he's 4th or 5th in the running. I don't think he's going to win it. I think it's between Rodgers, Brady, and JT.
All right. Well, I like that. We'll see how that goes towards the end of the year. And we mentioned the word North in there, Mr. Williams, and you sent me kind of a cryptic message about a future you're sort of looking at that depends on a game that gets played this weekend, but it's tied to the AFC North. Is there anything else you'd like to enlighten us on about that?
Yeah, so to get better odds on this pick, I'm rooting for the Browns to actually lose this week. I'm thinking about putting a future bet on the division winner after this week on the Browns, but I need them to lose to the Packers, have Cincinnati beat Baltimore, and have KC beat Pittsburgh. Then it would line up where Cincy would have a 2-game lead on Cleveland with only 2 games left. But if Cleveland wins their last 2, Cincy loses their last 2, and Baltimore loses to the Rams the following week, then the tiebreaker would actually be the Browns. So I think there's like some hidden money in there, some hidden value with the Browns, taking the Browns after this week to win the division, because Cincy, if they beat Baltimore this week, the following week they get to play the Chiefs. So you would think that they would lose that game. And then the final game of the year, which I think is going to be Sunday Night Football in Week 18, is Cincinnati at Cleveland. which
Wow.
that could be for the division if the Browns can rebound from their projected loss against Green Bay with the Monday night game in Week 17 is at Pittsburgh, which would be Big Ben's last home game ever. So a lot of drama there in the AFC North, but I still think there's some value on the Browns if they get everybody back healthy.
NBC, strike a deal with CBS and get Drew Carey to host Sunday Night Football in Week 18 when the Bengals battle the Browns for the AFC North. My goodness, I love this too. You're like a Wall Street speculator here, going off the Browns after this terrible game that we all just witnessed, where they had to basically play, what was it, like their third string quarterback, maybe even their fourth. It looked terrible, and you're saying, no. Let me put some money down on this team to win the division. I love that, Mr. Williams. That's why you are a true football handicapper right there.
And, hopefully if they get blown out by the Packers, they're going to get even better odds if they do that this week. So I think it's definitely still in play.
I like that. Jimmy, of all the different bets we've heard Mr. Williams talk about, how high up on the list does that one rank?
I'm gonna call that number that we need to call for Mr. Williams on that one. I think that's a lot of stuff going on there, Williams.
Value seeker. I'm a value seeker.
I like that, but basically what you're saying here is that the Browns have looked bad recently because of maybe a lot of COVID and some injuries, and in these last two games, a couple of these guys come back. Browns really rally the troops, and the Bengals have a tough schedule. If I read between the lines, that's essentially what you're saying here, right?
Listen, yeah, and we're doubling down on that pick that I gave out a couple weeks ago with the Ravens to miss the playoffs at plus 350. The Ravens are at Cincinnati this week, and then the following week they get to play the Rams. So Ravens and the Bengals have a really, really tough Week 17 game, and then the Week 18 games are the division games in the division. So, it doesn't sound possible if the Browns go out there and lay an egg against the Packers, but it is still possible for them to win the division.
I like it. Well, Mr. King, is there anyone that can win this weekend and get themselves into the playoffs? Is there anyone that can secure themselves this weekend?
Dallas.
Okay, I kind of thought it might be Dallas. That's why I threw it to you. So they need to beat who? Who's Dallas playing this weekend?
Well, let me just go up. I believe they are playing
WFTs.
The Washington football team. That's correct, and that's perfect because they have a 3-game lead on the Eagles, 4 on the WFT. If they win this week, Eagles can't catch them. Cowboys have a tiebreaker. They get the division.
Nice. All right, so the Cowboys can secure themselves in there.
I believe the Bucks probably can as well.
Yeah. Okay. And then didn't I hear you guys say there's only 2 teams in the NFC that are actually eliminated from playoff contention right now?
Yeah, the only 2 teams eliminated in the NFC are Detroit and Chicago. So that means with
Shut up.
Oh, Jimmy, how proud are you of that?
Hey, the Bears have 2 Pro Bowlers. Their kick returner and a linebacker. I'm gonna go back.
I'm just saying, it's pretty crazy how many people still have a mathematical chance to make the playoffs in the NFC, all the way and including the New York Giants at 4-10.
Oh man, Mr. Williams, if they only had Danny Dimes, the New York Giants could be coming out of nowhere and coming into the playoffs, right?
Man, they'd be a legit threat in the NFC East right now. Danny Dimes.
So give me your most outside what you're really looking for, other than that first bet you gave us. Something else you're really looking at this weekend that has big time playoff implication, Mr. Williams.
Well, I mean, Green Bay they now have the inside track at getting the 1 seed. If they can win out here because of all Tampa Bay's injuries and Tampa Bay losing.
That's always big for the Packers. You get a home
Saints.
game up in Lambeau. I'm sure they love that when it's going to be cold.
Yeah, and they've got the Saturday game versus the Browns here. They're favored by 7.5. That's a Fox game. And also, I wanted to remind you that you were complaining that the Colts were on NFL Network last week. They're on NFL Network again this week on Saturday night. So,
geez,
just
great.
a heads up.
I'll probably put them on the radio. This Saturday's actual Christmas, so maybe I'll have something else to do.
Yeah, Christmas Eve, right? Or is that Christmas? I can't remember.
It's Christmas Day. Saturday's Christmas Day.
Is that right? Yeah. So, and that's a huge game for playoff implications too. The Colts and the Cardinals. So,
I'm a
And
little
if,
worried about that game personally with the Cardinals coming off of a loss like they just suffered. I'm a little worried about that game that they're going to be trying to bounce back, and the Colts really definitely need this one.
not only a loss, but they got just absolutely spanked, and you could definitely see that it could have been a look ahead game. I think the Colts match up really well with Arizona, but if I was a Colts fan, I would also be worried because if you watch that game against the Pats, they put everything into that game, the game planning for the Patriots. So it's this is kind of where teams let down here after a huge win. They hadn't beat the Patriots in 12 years, so now they got to go out west, play out of conference foe. So yeah, this is a dangerous game for the Colts, but I think they can run on Arizona, and Arizona did not look good last week. So this is another really intriguing game for the Colts here.
Well, I don't mean to sound mean here, but I mean, apparently the Colts can run on almost anybody, right? I mean, we were talking about Jonathan up there at the top of the podcast. You know what I mean? Like the Colts can run on almost anybody. But yeah, I'm definitely worried about that game. Mr. Jamariska, what else is big in the AFC playoff picture this weekend? What's another big game?
AFC, I actually think that Monday night game, the Dolphins, they're still in it. I don't know how the Dolphins are in it, but they are, and they're doing pretty well right now. Tua's kind of in that Carson Wentz where every now and then he tries to give the game away, but hopefully the team around him can keep him up. So I actually think that Dolphins game is kind of interesting. And then obviously Bills Pats again is huge. Coming off of that, whatever that was called, a couple weeks ago, where the Patriots only threw the ball 3 times. Are the Bills going to be able to combat that with anything, or are the Bills going to just kind of go away?
Yeah, how good are the Bills, right? Like, we all thought the Bills were the runaway 1 seed in the AFC at the beginning of the year. Maybe not everybody, but that was certainly a lot of the talk. And I mean, how good are the Bills? Chris, let's go to you. How good are the Bills?
I mean, they're definitely not as good as what we thought they were at the beginning of the year. And I was a believer then. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was thinking Josh Allen was going to have an MVP caliber type year. And we just haven't seen that. We've seen their defense let down when they shouldn't. We've seen their offense sputter when they shouldn't. They got the talent there, that's for sure. I don't know. But they're not the team that we thought they were. I mean, they are fighting for their playoff lives right now. They are the 7th seed, and they have Baltimore right behind them with the same record, and the Steelers right behind that. So, and then the Raiders only a game back. So they have no room for error.
Mr. Williams, Baltimore just brought me up something I knew I wanted to ask you, and it relates to the playoffs tier as well. If you're Harbaugh right now, do you honestly feel great about the 2 times you've lost games now on going for 2 when you're in the thick of this playoff race? And if you even won one of those games, you'd be so much differently. Do you still think he's completely confident in his decision in both of those?
Well, if you fully embrace analytics, then yeah, he's going to be all right with it. What my question was is that why didn't he go for 2 when it was 31-23? Because that's when if you go for 2, then you're going to know whether or not you're going to need that at the end. So rather than putting more variance into just one play at the very end of the game, why not go for 2 when it's 31-23? And I think that's what the advanced analytics say you should always do when you're down by 14 and you score that touchdown. You should go for 2 then, even though the old school CBS crew, like their minds were blown when somebody did that earlier in the year. They couldn't understand it, but the advanced analytics actually say to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be haters on the analytics. And I'm not always for 100% doing analytics. I think I was more against them doing it the week before against Pittsburgh because I thought they were the better team. And I always think when you're the better team, you want to extend the game. And I know the Packers were favored in that game last week against the Ravens, but the Ravens had all the momentum. You kick the extra point and you get the coin toss. You get Tyler Huntley and the offense going down. Green Bay couldn't stop him in the fourth quarter. So that's also questionable. So I see both ways.
Yeah, and you clued us in a few weeks back that the Bills might be struggling to make the playoffs, and Chris just laid that scenario out right there. So if you had to bet right now, Mr. Williams, which we ask you to sort of do on this podcast, who's making the playoffs in the AFC, the non-division winners? Who are your wild card teams? You think?
Yeah, I'm still not sold on Buffalo, but I think they probably get in just because they got the Falcons and the Jets still on the schedule. So even if they can't get past the Patriots this week, they should be all right with those last two, I think would put them at 10-7. So yeah, I would say Chargers, Colts, Bills, and that's only if the Colts don't catch the Titans. So. The Titans have a really tough game against that certain team out west. That's a home game on Thursday night, so that's a really big game. And if they lose that one, and then there's even more pressure on the Colts to go out to Arizona and play well. So, man, if the Titans lose this week and the Colts win, man, those last 2 weeks are going to be interesting.
Jimmy, how about you? Who's making the playoffs in the AFC?
I had the exact same thing. I think that's how it's going to run down.
Hey, listen, you're with the handicapper. Nothing wrong with that. Chris, you see the same three teams, or you got somebody different?
So I think it's going to end up being the loser of this Cincinnati-Baltimore game. I think the winner of that game ends up winning that AFC North division. I think the loser ends up getting the last wild card over the Bills. I still think the Chargers still get it. I think the Bills. I'm worried that they falter this week, and then even if they do win those last two games, that may not be enough.
I like it. All right, Mr. Williams. We know it's real murky out in the NFC, but if you who do you lean into right now in the NFC?
The wild card teams.
Yeah.
I would say. Man, I think Arizona is going to be a wild card team. I think the Rams overtake them in the West.
Look out.
And I'll say that team out West is going to make the playoffs.
If that team out West makes the playoffs, you'll be able to talk about them for the playoffs. I'll make you that deal.
All right. And that last game, or the last team, man, I really would have to break down the schedules on that one because there's about 7 different teams fighting for that 7th spot.
Best of those 7, though.
Man. I think the most interesting team would be the Vikings to get in because they play so many close games. It doesn't matter who they play.
Yes, give me more Kirk Cousins, baby. Yeah. Let's do it.
And they're a fun team like Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. They have playmakers that if Adam Thielen comes back.
Zimmer looking like his head could explode at any moment. It's always fun.
10 out of 14 games have come down to the last play for them. So that would be an interesting 7 seed.
Well, I absolutely dig it. If the Packers and the Vikings could make the playoffs and literally every other team in the NFC was at least in the playoff run and then the Lions and the Bears were the only 2 teams that weren't, like that's just extra sauce for all you Bear fans out there. That's great. All right, so as I said, we're not going to have any actual picks. So let's move on from football. We all are in the holiday spirit. I will be wrapping some presents when I get done with this very podcast here for the Vanimal and the Mrs. Morgan, So let's start there in our little Christmas discussion. How much wrapping do each of you gentlemen do when Christmas time rolls around? Jimmy, I'll start with you.
Quite a lot. I've got about 10 or 12 gifts I think I still have to wrap for Katie and the children and some family members. So yeah, I like to wrap. It's fun.
Nice. Are you decent at it, or are you just throwing things together to just, all right, I got this covered and we're moving on?
I know enough to be dangerous. My corners aren't very tight, but other than that, I usually do the right amount of paper.
All right. Now, Mr. Williams, when you wrap your presents, are we going any other accessories? Are we doing a bow? Are we doing any ribbons anywhere? Are we even doing a tag, or are you just a guy who writes right on the present who it's to?
No, I can't do the bow or the ribbon, but I will get the tags and throw those babies on. I misconfigured how big a box was earlier, and so I had to just wrap one jacket up into the wrapping paper. So that was a misfault on me. But yeah, I did like 7 or 8 presents, maybe 10 presents. I got to ship them out because my family's out in Colorado, so I got to get my stuff done early, man. So it's stressful. I don't particularly love all the wrapping.
Yeah, no, I mean nobody loves wrapping, but I mean, Chris, you were a door-to-door Christmas wrap paper salesman in Butte, Montana, back in the early '80s. So I mean, it holds a special place in your heart.
after a while, when you're using it, you're demonstrating, you're cutting, you're taping, you're doing it every single day. Let me tell you, I am now a bag guy all the way. Give me the bag, give me the tissue paper. I don't need tape, scissors, or anything. I just need a pen, and they come with the card right already on there or the tag. So I am done with wrapping paper. If I can't fit it in a bag, you're getting in the box it came in.
All right, so there we go. That I warmed us up there. We're in the holiday spirit. So now I have some other random things associated with the holidays. You guys just give me your hot take on it. Give me your I have no idea even, Rod, what this is, and then I'll do my best to give you a definition. You're in, you're out on it. Whatever, just first thing that comes to your mind. Jimmy, I'll start with you. Jimmy, and the thing is candy canes. Go.
Nice for decoration, but really overrated overall.
Wow, nice. Mr. Williams, how about you? Candy canes.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with Jimmy Jam on this one. I like them on the tree, but yeah, pretty overrated candy.
Okay, so you like the old school, like give me some candy canes just hanging on the Christmas tree. You're kind of old school feeling that way. Give you kind of a Christmas story type vibe when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, how about you? Candy canes.
Candy canes, I'm for them.
Nice. Okay, so you're kind of a peppermint guy then, huh?
Listen, I'm not that big of a peppermint guy at all, actually, but I like the idea of candy canes. I do enjoy candy canes during the holidays, and growing up at school, we would be able to play horse against teachers, like during lunch period and whatnot. We'd pay $1, and then if we beat them, we wouldn't pay $1, we would bet them that we could beat them in horse. And if we lost, we had to donate $1. If we won, we got like a giant ass fucking candy cane.
And what was even odder about that is that you guys actually had to shoot them on peach baskets, and that made it even harder.
Well, I thought,
Listen,
doesn't $1 buy a car when you were in grade school? That's a lot of money.
It was a school dollar. It wasn't a real dollar.
Oh,
Listen,
the
if a real
dollar. Okay.
Yeah, like listen, we weren't crazy.
No, definitely not crazy. But speaking of crazy, let's go to something right here. How about this one? This one I believe is crazy. Fruitcake. Jimmy, your stance.
I am completely anti-fruitcake. It's ridiculous. What? I still don't understand why it's one of those things that's still around. Has anyone ever actually eaten a fruitcake? Has anyone purchased a fruitcake for anyone? Why would you do that to someone? It's like giving somebody a candle for Christmas. Here, I don't know you. Here's a candle. Here, I don't know you. Here's some fruitcake. Dumbest
Mr.
thing
Williams,
ever.
what do you think about fruitcake? You amaze me sometimes with your food take. So I kind of feel like maybe you dig fruitcake. Tell me what you think.
I don't know if I've ever had it actually, but everyone's told me that it's just terrible, so it looks terrible. So I'm going to go with it that it's terrible. And if it's not, then you can Google Jim Gaffigan's bit on fruitcakes and check that out because that's pretty funny. Also, fun fact: Jim Gaffigan's from Chesterton, Indiana, so not too far from where we're at, Rod.
That's right. Love me some Gaffigan. And believe it or not, when I first started in the post office, right, which was, I don't know, about 15, 16 years ago at this point, you would deliver some fruitcakes around Christmas time, right? Like they would come in tins and you could see them and and you'd be delivering fruitcakes. Haven't delivered too many of them over the years, but Chris, I mean, goodness, you're older than all of us, so I mean the fruitcake ratio that you've had compared to the rest of us has to just be staggering.
Yeah, so it is not good. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But it's still around because it's tradition. And it's tradition because back in the old countries, at the end of the harvest, you had so much fruit, you could do so much with it. You were bound to have some left over. Best way to save it, bake it into a cake. There you go, you have your fruit cake. No one actually liked it, so they just gave it to everybody else, and thus the tradition was born.
Nice. All right. And you used to go around from person to person in your sleigh. So, Mr.
Listen,
Williams, we'll start.
When I gave it out, it wasn't to people I liked. That stuff doesn't taste good.
That's true, but you were traveling in your sleigh. So, Mr. Williams, I'll start with you this time. Your takes on sleighs. What's your stance on the Christmas sleigh?
They're fine. I don't really have a hard stance on the sleigh. Like, you're talking about like in movies or just like overall? I don't know if I've ever seen anybody out on
just anything.
Like
What's the coolest take on a sleigh in a movie then? Since you brought it up, what's the coolest take on the sleigh in a movie then? What's your favorite one?
God, I don't even know. I don't even know what would be.
Come on, there's an obvious
Come on,
answer
dude.
here.
There's an
Christmas story?
obvious answer. Come on.
I don't even know.
All right, Jimmy, let's go to you. Let's see if you
Here
got
we
the
go.
same answer as me.
There's no way I do. It's Ernest Saves Christmas, man.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah,
Air brake.
yeah. I forgot about
Ernest
that one.
goes
I forgot
the
about
sleigh.
that one.
He saves Christmas for everybody. Come on.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Listen,
been a
the air
while.
brakes are great, but I still am partial to the jet sleigh from Elf.
Yes, definitely. But
Number
but
2,
it
no
don't-
question.
works on Christmas cheer, right? I mean, like it basically takes James Caan to actually smile and start singing to fire up and get Ed Asner back and deliver presents. I mean, come on, who doesn't love Elf? But what I like is I like a sleigh for outdoor decoration. I'm really starting to realize that a nice sleigh, a nice lit up sleigh with like a reindeer in front of it, that's good around different areas in the Morgan household compound here that I do up in all the Clark Griswold lights all year round. I got a different sleigh this year that didn't come with lights, and then I figured out a way to kind of put lights in it and drape around it. I'm all pro sleigh for decoration, and I just think it's a cool word, man. Hey, come jump in the sleigh. Let's go sleigh riding, right? There's just something cool about that. Speaking of tradition, how about another one? Yule log. I say Yule log, Chris. You say what?
Fire.
Okay, so that you don't think of the baked good Yule log, because that's the reason I phrased it that way, because apparently there's a tradition of a baked good called a Yule log that makes its way around, but you think of as the traditional log in the fire.
Yep. Fire.
Could you describe a Yule log to someone?
A great Yule log is your centerpiece to your fire. Like, it's the one that's going to be burning the hottest. It's going to be the one that's feeding the rest. It's going to be the one, and everybody knows who's stared at a fire long enough. There's a beauty in there, and that's the one that's going to look most perfect. It's the Yule log. It's your Christmas log for your Christmas fire.
Jimmy, do you burn a Yule log at the Jamriska house? Do you have a take on Yule logs?
I also thought of the fire Yule log, but I'm looking up this dessert right now. We got butter, we've got cream of tartar, kosher salt, and granulated sugar. This is going to keep you up for like 6 weeks. This actually looks like a pretty decent dessert here, Rod.
Right, Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Come on, the dessert Yule log. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like up my alley. Let's have some of that, man. And shout out to Chris with he's got the history of fruitcakes. He's got the history of Yule logs.
Because he was born when they were
man.
created.
I've been around for a while, Williams.
See, my only take on the Yule log is I appreciate Yule log because it fits so nicely in the Run DMC Christmas in Hollis. Beneath the fireplace is the Yule log. Beneath the mistletoe as we drink eggnog. Right? That's it. That's the only thing for me. That's the only thing. But I brought up the next thing we're moving on to. Eggnog. Jimmy, go.
The only thing eggnog is good for is Christmas Vacation when Cousin Eddie says he's serious, or when Cousin Eddie drinks it and is talking to Clark. That's it. Otherwise, it's disgusting.
He was there begging for the yak woman. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love eggnog.
Why would you drink? Why would you do that to yourself?
You don't like eggnog?
No, it's like a creamy yellow milk thing.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you cutting it with a little bit of milk, right? Are you giving yourself, like, let's say 3/4 of a cup of eggnog, then you're doing 1/4 cup of milk, cut that stuff a little bit. Are you doing that?
I'm not doing anything with it.
So you're making a mistake. You put a little cinnamon, right? A little bit of cinnamon on top of there, and then you drop some Fireball cinnamon whiskey in there, 2 shots, and then you got yourself a holiday drink, Jim.
Yeah, but you don't remember it, so who cares? It's disgusting.
Chris, come on, you got to back me up here because you love milk. I mean, you're like Ron Burgundy. You're walking around on a hot day just drinking milk, so you got to love eggnog.
Listen, on a hot day, milk is one of the best things for you to drink. But I don't cut my eggnog with milk. I'll drink it straight, or I'll cut it with like Fireball, peppermint schnapps, whiskey, even like some spiced rum sometimes. The one thing I don't do that some people do is they cut it with like white wine. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, keep your white wine away from my eggnog. Mr. Williams, your stance on eggnog.
So have you guys heard? I got a question for you guys. Have you heard of coquito? It's like a Puerto Rican eggnog that's got a little Puerto Rican rum. It's got a little nutmeg, some cloves, some cinnamon, some cream of coconut, some coconut milk.
Ooh.
And so that sounds really good. I haven't tried that yet, but I've heard recently that is like the best eggnog on the planet. So,
Say that one more time for the folks at home. What you said that was called?
Yeah, it's a coquito. It's like a Puerto Rican eggnog, and like I said, it's got a little Puerto Rican rum, some coconut milk, some cream of coconut, some vanilla, nutmeg, clove, cinnamon. So yeah, that would be up my alley. Let's have a party. Let's get some different eggnog tasting going.
There we go. I like that. An eggnog tasting party. I dig that. All right. Speaking of a lot of those kinds of spices and a drink, have any of you ever drank wassail? Chris, I know you have, so I'll come to you last. Jimmy, wassail.
I don't know what that is. I'm a little nervous. What is wassail?
It's like a warm wine kind of deal, right? You get like your allspice in there, you know what I mean? You get some cloves, you know what I mean? You get your cranberries, you know, you get all of your different winter spice flavors, right? And you kind of heat up some. It's not very good. It's a real Martha Stewart kind of deal. You know what I mean?
I'm more just kind of I'll just take a beer. That would be fine.
Right, like if you ever do you remember the old Martha Stewart's topless Christmas special from SNL from years back?
That was on
When
last
Anna
night.
Gasteyer always used to, yeah, when Anna Gasteyer used to do all the time. Yeah, she makes some wassail in that. I saw this thing on HGTV where they were doing a whole like decorate your backyard into a winter wonderland, and one of the places had a wassail stand, and I was like, whoa. There can't be a whole lot of need for a wassail stand in 2021, and so that's where wassail came from. I hadn't thought about that in years. Let's move off of wassail and on to some more decoration stuff here to finish out. Garland. Chris, what's your take on garland?
I'm for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm pro garland. I'm finding that with all of my different holiday lights and decorations that I do now, I like to have like a garland base, and then I do kind of like a light on top of it, and it just gives a real classy, a real homey feel.
Yeah, like the garland will hide the lights and give it a more softer effect.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Mr. Williams, your stance on garland?
I don't have a strong stance. I could take it or leave it.
Right, but you don't think that just a strand of lights looks a bit naked. You don't think it kind of needs beefed up with like that greenery, that just extra effort feel. Really? Okay. Okay. All right, Jimmy. What's your stance on garland?
I like it as a nice staircase decoration. That works well around the mantle as well. I've come around to garland. Didn't really have. I was more of a Williams before. I had someone else putting the garland up and said, "Oh, that looks pretty nice."
Right, exactly. See, that's shout out to the Mrs. Morgan. You know, she's a little bit better with the garland than I am. But we have we do a wrapping of the garland on our walkways up to the doors there, and then I'll kind of do some lights on top of them. But really, and we do them around the windows. It's a nice thing. I'm pro garland. Any garland manufacturers out there that want to have the Morgan Podcast Network as your main sponsor, we are for that. We are pro garland here. We just lost Mr. Williams. That is okay. He doesn't have to answer us on this final one. I want to know about nutcrackers. Mr. King, you have the history of everything else. How did nutcrackers get so associated with Christmas?
Well, it's not so much the nutcracker that got associated with Christmas. It really wasn't until the ballet came out. Before that, it was just a decoration during Christmas time. Usually your nut harvests off the trees would be late fall, depending on where you're from. And then you would be having nuts, and one of the things you would want is like roasted chestnuts or almonds or pecans during the holiday season. And so that's when you use nutcrackers the most, so people started decorating them for the holiday season. And then the ballet was written, and the rest is history.
Nice. Look at that. Jimmy, how about you? You pro nutcracker?
I'm fine with it as a decoration, but again, let's just do it in moderation. We don't need 700 nutcrackers around.
Right.
4 or 5 mantle again. I'm pro mantle. Stuff knick-knack shelf. Yeah, throw a couple up there. You don't need a ton though. Don't collect your nutcrackers. That's a little creepy.
Yeah, I'm absolutely right there with you. Moderation is good for all Christmas gifts, and that is okay. Hey, so at this time, I guess we should go ahead and wrap up. We are right around the time where we normally end an episode of Balls and Brew. And as I said, you might be listening to this on Christmas Eve. So we appreciate you taking time on this holiday to listen to us. We appreciate you taking time to listen to us all throughout the year. We are very thankful. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I know, Jimmy, you would echo my sentiments.
Yeah, I'll wish people a Merry Christmas. Sure, I can go with that.
Yeah, Chris, you agree with me as well. I know you're always being contrarian on this podcast, but you'll wish people a Merry Christmas too.
And a happy holidays.
There we go. And one other thing I do want to mention, if December 23rd is the day this comes out or it was the day before, that means one thing. It means Festivus. You take care of the feats of strength at home. You take care of putting the Festivus poll up, and the Mrs. Morgan will help you out with the airing of grievances. Check her airing of grievances out. It is her annual Festivus blog available for you on themorganknow.com. Check out my ambitions as a writer, the space for Kate's blog. And I believe she's putting up a little review of all 22 books that she read this year as well. So if you're a reader, check that out on themorganknow.com. And Jimmy, the triumphant return of Yeah We Know in the ring with Jimmy and Rod will be after the first of the year when the WWE kicks the year off with the pay-per-view.
Yes, it's been quiet here and there for WWE and the Yeah We Know pod, but we've got day one coming up, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, if you listen back to an episode of Yeah We Know, I sort of hinted at the fact that I might be needing to take the holidays off. I knew that with my my postal delivery schedule and a few other things that were going on, something might have to get pushed to the side, and unfortunately it was wrestling, but I will be coming back with a vengeance. I promise that to our wrestling listeners out there. And that's about it. We'll be back with Balls and Brew as we're getting closer to the playoffs. Hopefully we'll find out who is actually playing in these games, and we'll get some picks from Mr. Williams on the next week's podcast. But as I said, the ones for this week, check our social media channels out and you will find those. And as always, the final word goes to Mr. King down there in North Carolina.
Goodbye, Internet.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.